This is Performance Anxiety on the Pantheon Podcast Network, and I am your host, Mark. And this episode of Side Projects features a duo of duos, Charming Disaster and Lung. So naturally, we start the show by discussing musical duos. Somehow, we wrapped everything up by talking about sad kazoo music. I don't know how we got there, and it really doesn't matter, because this episode goes completely off the rails very quickly. But that's why this one is so much fun. We do talk about drum shoes, setting microphones on fire, and new albums for both Charming Disaster and Lung. Charming Disaster's new album, The Double, is out and about, and Lung's will be released shortly. Give them both follows at Charming Disaster Band and at Lung the Band. Follow us at Performance ANX. Buy merch at performanceanx.threadless.com or just throw money at us at ko-fi.com/performanceanxiety. Now brace yourselves for whatever this episode is, because I'm not sure.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
All right. Still waiting to see if Elia answers.
Oh, they said that they need a link for... Oh, wait a second. I don't know. I have no idea. Let's see. Says...
There they are.
Oh, hey. Hi. Wait, why is this like this? Hey, Daisy, can you get... Hey. This is like a computer that has a mind of its own, and it will like move the camera. It's like really stupid.
Oh, wow.
I know. I don't... Oh. My computer stopped working, so I got an iPad, and now it's like smarter than me.
Well,
yeah, it's being weird. Last week.
I can say the same thing about much of the equipment I use. It's definitely smarter than me.
Yeah, I feel you.
I may even venture a guess that this is smarter than me.
Yeah, my water is smarter than me as well.
It's smart water? Yeah. It's smart water, right?
It's intelligent. Yeah, it's very, very smart.
Very nice. Oh, man. Well, Elia and Jeff, good to see you guys again. And Daisy and Kate, great to meet you guys.
Great to meet you too, Mark.
So...
Good to see you guys, Kate and Daisy.
Yeah, good to see you guys too.
Good to see you.
I like the mustache. I haven't seen it.
Thanks, I'm working it out.
It's looking nice. Are you going to do a really long one?
It's going to definitely twist up a little bit. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Like oil can Harry.
Exactly.
Nice.
It's more of a Husker Du mustache.
Sure, I'll take it.
Well, I really appreciate you guys coming on. Kate and Daisy, I've wanted to have you guys on for a while, but it's been pretty crazy. I try to reach out through our mutual friend, Nick, who actually got me in to see you playing with Kim Deal a few weeks ago. So it was...
oh, nice.
Yeah, so I shot a bunch of photos there in the at the DC show. So
cool.
Yeah, so it was a blast. So I have yet to see Charming Disaster live. I know the last time you guys came into my area, I believe my kids had something going on and I wasn't able to make it. So I'm hoping to see you guys the next time you come to the DC area.
We are working on it. We will definitely keep you posted, but hopefully we'll be down your way in September.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. So, since I have a duo of duos,
quartet, if you will,
a quattro. So, I wanted to talk about duos because they are unique in the music world. There's a lot of power trios, a lot of quartets, and there's a lot of solo acts, but duos are kind of a beast unto themselves. And I wanted to talk about it because I can't imagine being in a band where there's only two people, because I'm so used to guitar, bass, and drums. So it's doing it differently is always fascinating to me. And so I wanted to find out from you guys how you get it done and find out a little bit more about some other famous duos that maybe inspired you guys. So let's talk about duos. I mean, so you guys, and we'll start off with Ellie and Jeff. You guys, obviously, duo. Did the band purposely begin as a duo, or was it you just kind of grew into it?
It very much happened deliberately as a duo. And when we got together, we each had a really large band. Yeah. Jeff had a band called Coderino, which was like 7 or 9 people?
Yeah, I don't know how many people. There are a lot of people in that band.
Jesus.
Yeah. And Sweet Soubrette, my band, was an 8-piece that had grown from a solo act to like a trio to a 4-piece to then like there were some horns and it was like, oh man, can we keep them? But like scheduling was always such a nightmare, especially when you're working with talented people who like have their own projects and like are in other projects. And like, you know, we could never rehearse with like the bass player and the drummer at the same time. Like pretty much they had like opposite schedules, which was terrible. Or like we could do a horn section that was separate from the rest of the rehearsal. It was the same thing with Cotorino.
Oh yeah, we would rehearse in sectionals all the time.
Then you'd find out what it actually sounded like on stage at the show.
Which was exciting.
Exciting.
That's one way to put it.
So when we met, we were like, when we met, I caught Jeff's large band and we got to talking as you do. And like, I remember that early conversation. I was like, you know, if we started a project with just 2 people, we could rehearse as much as we wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. We could fit into one car. Yeah, we could play as much. There was like, we both had skin in the game in this project. So it's like, we're both like 50-50 stakeholders in it. It wasn't like, you know, our other bands where we were in charge of everything and motivating people and like getting stuff done.
But you also like, you're powerless to do things alone, but like you rely on like having the large band with you to make the music happen. But like nobody else really like has the motivation to like make things happen, and so you're both responsible for them and beholden to them, and but also grateful to them. You know, like it was this like really intense cocktail of emotions.
So like a lot of things, 10% of the members are doing 90% of the work.
Kind of
For organization wise.
Yeah, and like it's hard to like delegate stuff among that many people also. That's, you know, in their defense.
Yeah. And like musically, conceptually, when we were writing and when we first started writing too, it's like we knew it was just 2 of us. And it really freed us up having those parameters of limitations of just 2 people. Like, what could we do with just us? Especially
with vocal harmonies.
With the instrumentation that we have of just guitar and uke, and like, what can we do with that? And it made us kind of think about it more creatively than if we were a larger project, I think.
I really want to hear what Lung's story is though. Like, did you have a bigger band and like they all like just like couldn't?
We started with 20 people and then they all threatened to kill us.
Yeah, like a Survivor situation.
Yeah, it was, and we were the last 2 on the island, and so far we're a duo and no one has died.
They haven't tracked us down yet.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, to echo what they're saying, though, I think that's an important point that, like, you sort of see when you have a smaller band, number one, who wasn't doing work in those other bands, and also who was, which is very interesting because it's like, if there's only 2 people, then it's 50% of the work on both, right. You know? And like, so looking back in bands that, like, I've never been in a band like you all where there was like, you know, 20 people, but I've been in, I think 6 is the most I ever gotten. And it's interesting what was easier and then what was actually easier without that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as you said, delegation is like, it's always weird. It's always uneven. So it's sort of interesting to look back and see what's delegated where.
Especially when it's like your songs, you know, where like it's, you know, you're sort of expressing your feelings or your ideas. And, you know, you like, I know that musicians want good songs to play on, but like, it always felt like, you know, they were doing me a favor kind of. And so I didn't want to ask too much of them in those other ways.
Right. And that sort of like, it becomes hard to have a balance when there's more than like 3 people in my experience, where even at 3, someone starts feeling left out, and it's hard to have a song that even more than 3 people are equally contributing to, and everybody feels good about it. At some point, someone's doing a favor, as you said.
Well, I don't know. I sort of feel like honestly, I was always like, well, I'm not going to be in a band. I'm just going to do solo stuff. And like, I thought like 2 would even be too much, but like, I think more than 2, it's like too many cooks in the kitchen. And also the cool thing about a duo, as you all know, is it's like, you really can find the perfect bandmate that like resonates, shares an ear, that you collaborate well with, that you get along with, that you can like live in a van with and tour. You can be picky versus like 5 people. Like there's always going to be like someone who's kind of annoying. I don't know. Like,
It's true.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
And I think
like they're not all winners,
yeah, there's something to be said for learning how to deal with the people that you find annoying, but like mesh with musically. I've been in other bands.
Yeah.
Where that's the case, but like the longevity of this band, we have outlasted any other project I've been in. It's just like you said, like you get this sort of like symbiotic relationship where like you're almost like an organism in two bodies, and then like you can be in two places at once. Like you can have like just logistically, it's like one person can be driving and one person can be like responding to emails. One person can be making sandwiches.
One person could be selling merch, and the other person's packing up the gear.
Right.
Holding the phone as you're doing that.
Well, we're lucky because we have like a third band member who's not in our, like, who does all of our artwork, Rochelle, who's Daisy's partner and my best friend. So it's even more fun because then we have like extra hands and someone helping with the art and doing the art and being there. And yeah. So
We've done it just the two of us on tour, but it gets a little.
we have lower standards for existing, and then it catches up to us. Like all of a sudden, we're like sleeping in a Love's parking lot, but it's humid and there's mosquitoes biting us, and we're just like, "What are we doing?" And Rochelle's like, "We don't sleep in 75, 89 degree weather outside, like with mosquitoes. We just don't do that. We get a Super 8." And we're like, "Oh."
Well, sometimes we do.
I mean, like we crash at people's houses, but
One time we didn't throw away garbage for the whole tour, and the van just filled up with trash.
oh, it was gross. Yeah, we used to be gross. That was like 2016 and 2017. I used to not change my socks. That was also gross. Like,
This is going in all kinds of places I wasn't expecting.
We're like teenage boys.
We're just
bad. It's bad.
Rochelle makes us better.
Rochelle's a teenage girl.
Yeah. I've also grown up a little. I changed my socks now.
I haven't grown up at all.
Yes, you have.
No, I've not.
Okay.
Well, and speaking of like, we also stay at people's houses a lot when we tour, and finding a place to stay as a two-piece is very easy. Oh, somebody has a spare room, a futon, like a pull-out couch, you're good.
Yeah.
Totally.
And when you have to get a hotel, you only need one room.
Totally.
That's a good point.
It's all economic. It's like two pieces are perfect.
Well, the issue is you can sort of draw a direct line between Lars Ulrich suing Napster and the fact that there's no bass players in bands anymore. Like there's a butterfly effect there of like as much as I like being in a two-piece, there's also the economic reality of like the last 30 years of music have just been a steady decline of how much money you make, and ultimately if there's one person who gets or two people who get hacked out, so part of it's like, yeah, two pieces are awesome, and part of it is just like, oh wow, we all don't make any money.
Like the overhead is low.
Right.
I mean, it's like a combination. Like the overhead is low, but you can get like exponentially more done on stage and off stage with two people than being by yourself. But like I do feel a kind of like kinship with other duos, even other duos that were not that musically similar to. Like we have had conversations about like, oh, we should do like a duos festival or something. We should produce a duos festival because like there's something kind of magic about duos. But the problem with duos is that many of them are couples and they all break up.
Well, we are not a couple, so we don't have that problem. It's so great.
But which is worse though, couple bands with just two people so then the band dissipates immediately, or couple bands where there's like four people in it? I'm not going to name names, but those are way messier. Like
yeah,
the
then it's
Fleetwood
like
Mac effect.
Back effect.
Yeah.
Philadelphia does a two-piece fest, and Savannah, Georgia does one too.
Yeah, in Baltimore.
In Baltimore.
Okay, so somebody else. That's good.
But that's a great
Well,
idea.
you should too.
Yeah, we should be in one of those, I guess.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I mean, we'd love to do a show with y'all. I mean, we did a show with Kate, which Daisy was at and like helped run sound and helped set up. I mean, it was definitely like an experience with both of you. But someday we will do a double bill with Lon.
Actually, share a stage.
Deal. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So,
We also want that to happen.
So there are a lot of duos that have made big marks in music. Like obviously, White Stripes is a big one.
Yeah.
Black Keys, Royal Trucks, Suicide, Fripp and Eno. There's also some that are kind of just duos in name only, like Hall & Oates and Steely Dan. So do you ever think of expanding, like when you're touring, to help fill out the sound, like a Hall and Oates would do, or I don't know, Seals and Crofts?
Just buy another amp.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, another pedal.
Yeah, I think also with what we're talking about, the dynamics of two people, once you add someone else who's not in that dynamic at all, they're just going to be so left out of everything. You know what I mean? Because they're not sharing in all the, for us, 12 years of, inside jokes and experience that we've had. Like if we had anyone else, I definitely feel like they were the third.
We would be really annoying to them. I mean, we have a... We have an occasion. I mean, like we do bring like other folks in once in a while. Where we really do that is on our recordings.
Yeah,
that's where we pull people in. But on tour, it's like usually impractical. And so like we're planning our album release show right now for the Double, which is happening in mid-May. And so we're like, oh, do we want to? It's a big show. Do we want to bring in extra people? But like extra people means like not just like figuring out arrangements or parts with them. It's funny. So Kate is one of the people we brought in on this album. Like there's Kate plays cello on the Double on a couple of tracks. And so we're like, oh, like, should we get somebody to play cello on those tunes or like violin or something? But like, then we have to like practice with that person and like get it really tight, or make it loose enough that it doesn't matter if it's like really tight. But the duo dynamic is like, we're super tight. And that's what's so exciting. And that's what's so exciting about watching you guys is like how tight you are.
Thank you. You will too. It's like, I mean, yeah, you know what you're saying. It's like you practice with one other person. And also what you were talking about earlier really resonated. You were talking about how like, oh, I'm finally in a band with someone who wants to practice as much as me. Yeah. Which is like a total gift. And like, that's what we dig too. Because you can get super tight if you both are crazy people who just want to practice every freaking day.
You're both losers with no life.
Yeah, if you both don't have a life. Like,
it's a life. It's a life.
I mean, we've tried to have like the same as you all. We've done like, it's not like we were like, we are a duo and that's the deal. It's just that's how it worked out. Like, yeah, we tried to have Rochelle play bass and it was too much low end. Like, we had someone try and play keyboards. We've done stuff like we played with our friend's band that's like a country band, and we played like a whole set with like two drummers playing country music. We've done stuff like that, but it always just sounds like Lung and some other people. It's fun. There's nothing wrong with it. Like sometimes we do, like even still sometimes like we've had friends join us on stage, but it's like it just sounds like Lung plus someone rather than like Lung but bigger. Yeah. Whatever we do is the two of us, and like that's, and just to sort of get the history, the backstory, because we kind of skipped over that. Lung started because I was in a band with Rochelle, who's our artist. It was her band called Babe Rage. She's never done music before since. That was a duo with our friend JJ. And they were like, well, you play drums. And I'd never played drums before. So I was like, okay.
Oh, cool. Wow.
And that band existed for like a year. And that band was very conceptually oriented in that we do things like we were offered a residency for like a month. And we were like, well, what if we had a different singer for every show? And Kate was one of the singers, and that's how that ended up working out.
And we wrote some creepy, weird songs.
Yeah, and then it sort of became like a Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young situation where like, well, maybe Kate could just be in the band, and then the band broke up.
The best song we've ever written was that one. It was, so you'll never be a ballerina. Yeah, you'll never, ever be a dancer. Swear word. I'm not sure we can swear.
Oh, yeah, you can swear.
Bitch.
So
wait, that was the song. You weren't talking to me, right? Huh? That was the song. You weren't talking to me, right?
Oh, I wasn't talking to you.
Okay.
No, that was in the song.
Okay, just making sure.
Might never be.
You're never going to be a ballerina.
But it started out with a bigger band, and the bigger band just kind of self-destructed, and then we pared it down until not even pared it down. It wasn't like a.
No, I went to the bar. I went to the bar one night and was complaining about how I couldn't like play drums with my feet because I was trying to like do all this stuff with like looping, and you were like, well, let's just jam, and then we jammed, and it was really fun. But that was after the residency.
Playing drums with your feet is hard. We do it, but we don't do a lot of pedal stuff. It's hard to do pedals and play drums with your feet. God. Yeah.
If I could not use my feet playing drums at all, I would do it. I hate it.
Really?
I like drummers better who just stand up and play like with their hands, honestly.
Oh, like Stray Cats.
The feet are annoying. The feet are annoying.
Feet are annoying.
We should chop
Especially
them
when
off.
you don't change your socks.
Yeah, well, I do that now. That's 2017.
As a standing percussion player, I can tell you that getting the right shoes is critical. It has to have like enough of a heel, but not too much of a heel. It has to be very stable because like all your weight is kind of on the left side. It's really complicated, and I have figured out the shoes thing, but like now I'm really wedded to those shoes. So if they stop making them, I'm gonna be screwed.
Oh no!
Do you mind sharing what kind of shoes those are?
Oh, yeah, they're Ms. Moose is the brand, and they're like little sort of low boots. They're sort of Victorian looking, and they have like kind of like a low, broad heel. Because if they're flats, I get kind of shin splinty on the hi-hat leg. Yeah, a little heel. I put like Fluvogs would be good too.
Remind me of your setup. I know you play percussion, but you use your feet too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're standing and you're playing.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's what I thought. That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, like drummer shoes are really weird. Like right now I have on these bootleg Adidas that look terrible, but like they're super comfortable to play in, you know? So it's like, I feel like that's another part of it is like, I know this is insane, but I remember your shoes were cool, and like drummer shoes don't look cool in general.
You should get some cool Victorian shoes. You should get moved.
Yeah, I might rip you off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, do it. I feel like Fluvog has men's sizes with cool heels. I don't know if Ms. Moose does.
Yeah, drumming percussion shoes are very particular. It's very strange.
I have never really thought about seated like normal drummer shoes. This is a whole line. I'm gonna look this up on the internet.
Yeah, I used to get.
Oh, it's insane. Okay. Here, I'll pull up my other boots. Like I'm really used to drumming in boots because like part of me was like, oh well, it's better. Like the weight is better, and I'm super used to that. And then I found out that's really good for practice, but playing shows, like any like long-term stamina, a lighter shoe is obviously better, but like it can't be too light and it can't be too like flat.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the time. It's real weird, but that's also has to do with my particular feet. So
I never realized how particular this could be. And I think we've changed the subject from duos to feet.
To footwear, it's very important, very related.
Oh, very important.
And that's fine. This is a very fluid podcast. That's fine. So I've got a question, and I'm going to start off by asking Jeff and Elia this, particularly with the double. It's a very full album. I mean, there's drums, there's strings, there's horns. When you're writing and recording, are you subconsciously or consciously even thinking about how you're going to pull this off live, or do you do it in the studio and then figure it out afterwards?
We do it in the studio. The studio is like the platonic ideal of the song, of how we hear it and like how we imagine it to be and what we could feasibly put. What
you're hearing in your head.
Yeah, and like often while we're in there, like we'll get, things that we do will like lead to other ideas. So, we'll put the cello on, and then once the cello's on, we're like, oh, like I could really hear a piano line. Let me run over to the piano and like add that. There's a lot of organic stuff that happens.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh shit, we're gonna
do now?
Yeah. Especially for the drum stuff. So our recording engineer and longtime collaborator, Don Godwin, who has like made all of our records with us, more or less. He also plays drums, and he's a really great drummer. And he plays bass, and he's a great bass player. And so we make Don play bass and drums on like most of the songs. Jeff occasionally plays bass, and like we often write the bass parts together with all three of us. Did you know it takes 3 people to write a bass line?
I did not.
And Don is kind of the secret third member of our band, although it's like pretty much limited to the studio. But then once we have those recordings, we're like, well, how do we kind of reinterpret these? And it's almost like
it's like doing covers.
Yeah,
wow.
Like stripped down covers. Yeah.
So when you're writing, you're demoing things out, then you're filling it out in the studio, and then you're stripping it back down almost to a demo form for live.
It's a different, it becomes a different incarnation than how it started. Because when we start, we're sitting side by side working it out on the uke and guitar.
Okay.
And then it kind of goes through the studio process, and then we're like, that informs what we're trying to accomplish.
And sometimes it goes slightly in the other direction, like depending on how long we have with a song before it goes into the studio with us. Totally. So like Trick of the Light, for instance, which is on the double, we had figured out our foot percussion stuff for that before we went into the studio. And so what Dawn did on the drum set when we were recording was kind of inspired by what we were doing on the foot percussion.
That's right.
It must have been a trick of the light. You keep on telling yourself everything's fine, but you've been walking while you are sleeping, and now you're going out of your mind. A shadow's creeping out in the night. You think you might want to invite it.
Kate and Daisy, what about you guys? I've seen you guys live, and your sound is big live. I was lucky enough to see you guys open for Max Sabbath, which is one of the greatest concerts of my entire life.
They're so awesome. We freaking love those guys.
That show was insane. I absolutely loved it. And when I found out you guys, because I had spoken with our friend Nick Kazernis, and he was like, "Oh, Lung is opening up for Max Sabbath. You have got to go." You know, like I'm going to be there for Max Sabbath anyway. But now that I know Lung is opening up, because he introduced me to your music, and so I was like,
it's nice.
And I've been listening to it. And I'm like, all right, as long these guys are opening up, I'm there. I'm there early. I'm gonna be shooting some shots of Lung, and then get in there for some Max Sabbath. And I was amazed at how dense the sound was live with just a cello and drums. It's incredible. Do you guys go through the same thing where you figure out a song, it grows in the studio, and then you have to figure it out live, or are you basically keeping it as much as playable live in the studio as you can? That was a poorly phrased sentence, but I apologize.
I think it depends on the song, because some of the songs sort of just are like how they are, and they don't have a ton of other extra stuff. And then I feel like a lot of the songs that have some extra stuff, we figure out how to do live looping. Daisy also has a drum pad and can do different sounds with that. And so like, for this current album that we're releasing in a couple months, The Swan Keeper, there are some of those songs that like we definitely have to like work on taking off the page and being like, like we could do a loop there. Oh, I could use a whammy pedal to like have a creepy vocal effect rather than 3 of me, you know. You just press the whammy pedal and then it's like, you know, horrifying. And you just get that from pressing a button. So like pedals, I think, take us a long way. And Daisy also has like a major ear for amps. So we definitely are always working on like how to fill out the sound more as well. What do you think?
I mean, it really depends on like, I think the main thing is people always have like a recording versus live mindset, and I see them as radically different. There's songs that we recorded a long time ago that like, I never consider what the recording sounds like. To me, the song is like when we play it live. And I am literally shocked when I hear the recording, where sometimes there's songs that we've recorded that like exist as a recording and we play them live. It's like, oh, this isn't like, it's like a theater performance versus filming a movie. It's just different. It's like, and you have to approach it differently.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
We have some songs that have evolved a lot since we recorded them, like on our early album, songs that we still play, where like now we've like, you know, we've like slowed the end down, or like we do a thing that's different. And I'm always surprised when we hear the recording, and especially because sometimes we'll do a performance with like a burlesque artist or somebody who's like doing a live thing as we accompany them, and we have to listen back to the track and make sure it's not too different. Be like, oh, like, okay, we'll play it the old way, otherwise it's gonna like fuck her up.
Yeah, she's gonna like, woo, a little too soon. Just gotta keep it on until the end.
Yeah, exactly. They change over time, and like I think that's part of what's cool is like that it shifts and becomes something different.
We're still talking about the music, not the burlesque dancer, right?
Both.
Yeah, either way. But you know who has always been really inspiring to me about that sort of live and recorded stuff is Stephen Merritt and the Magnetic Fields, because the Magnetic Fields recordings and their live performances are like super different. And
Oh, really?
and yeah, some of them, especially like the early work, which was very like synthy based, and then he got very into like performing with live acoustic musicians. And I don't know, it's like they're just different creatures. They're different animals. Like the recorded version is the recorded version, and like that's the thing you love. And then like it makes going to see them live really exciting because like it's going to be a different interpretation depending on who the players are and on that tour. It's neat.
Yeah, it's not like Rush, seeing Rush or something, where they play it exactly like they do in the album.
Yeah.
Is that what they do? I've never seen Rush.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty close to the albums, and Geddy's playing like 8 instruments at the same time and singing. So it's ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
That's cool. It just seems like weird to expect an album from a live performance or a live performance from an album.
Right.
I go to live shows to hear it how it sounds live. I want it stripped down. I want it raw a little bit more. And that's like you said, if I wanted to hear the album, I'd put on my CD. So
right.
So Charming Disaster, you guys have your 7th album is about to be released. 7th album. That's amazing.
It is.
Who would have thought?
What I know, a lot of your previous album. Well, I shouldn't say this. Some of your previous albums are thematic, and they revolve around certain ideas. And I was wondering if there's something to the Double in that vein, and what is there anything behind the name The Double?
Yeah, it's funny. The album kind of wanted to be called The Double before we knew what that meant exactly. I mean, like, there's this sort of obvious, like, the double as, like, ourselves as, like, a duo and the duality of that. You know, the double, like, us as each other's doppelgangers or evil twins or what have you. But we had to sort of figure it out in retrospect, like, looking at the songs to see, like, what have we been talking about this time? And the theme that we sort of gleaned from what we've done, you know, it's sort of like a dream interpretation, is this idea of the world beyond the ordinary world, the world behind the world that we know, and whether that's accessed through, you know, mortality or a sort of heightened fantasy adventure like in Time Machine or Haunted Lighthouse, or whether that's through mysticism and the natural world. Like, there's a sense that there's something more, there's something magic, and it's just on the other side.
One of my favorite songs on the album is Time Machine. I love that song. That's awesome.
Everything's happening at the same time. Count to 10 backwards. Focus your mind. Picture the hour, day and the year, until tomorrow or yesterday's here. It's not too late to change the past, the future.
But I think one of the things that I've noticed about this album is there are a few songs that don't sound like much of your earlier work. Like, for example, Gang of Two. That's more of a country blues sound to that, which I think you guys just nailed it. That sounds fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
Lost my sense of consequence
when I met you in the holding pen.
You were chewing on a matchstick, working on your lockpick.
Ever since we hopped the fence,
It's been county fairs and circus
we
tales.
were walking with our eyes closed, searching for the sideshow.
Well, if you trace back through our albums, we actually have one of those songs on almost each one of our albums, and there's
One of those songs meaning like
a kind
theme?
of like a kind of country-ish, like we're on the road kind of song. We're on the road, we're on the lam country song. Like, and you can almost interpret them as a sequence. So there was Ocean City on our first album, and there was Driving to Idaho on Time Ghost, the singles compilation, and there's Keep Moving, and there's Wrong Way Home. Like we have, I feel like it's a thing that we keep going back to. Like,
I'm totally wrong, basically.
No, you're not. I mean, it is a little more genre specific, perhaps, but we made it so like almost every other bar it switches between 6/8 kind of country waltz to straight 4/4. So it kind of lurches back and forth. It's a little bit of like a three-legged race where all of a sudden you have another leg. So that's the three-legged race. So I'm glad it is not obviously like, what were you doing time-wise? That was a really weird song. I'm glad you like it and just take it.
It's just like, imagine that you're broken out of jail with your cellmate and your legs are shackled together.
That's kind of the...
That makes sense. So, but I think one of the coolest songs on the album to me it's actually, the title is not, it's not about anything cool. Vitriol.
Oh, cool.
That song is, when you think of Vitriol, you don't think of anything nice, really. But that, I'll be damned, that is the happiest bass line I have heard.
Oh, that's cool.
That is killer. I love that.
Slip into the acid bath.
Unmake the cruel machine.
Can't dissolve the aftermath.
Just watch it on TV. It's a secret recipe, miracle of chemistry. But how to stop the bleed?
Is that something you guys are going to be playing live? And Jeff, you're going to be doing the bass on that?
We'll be playing it live, but I don't know how much of that bass is going to make it to the live.
The guitar has to do
The guitar, we'll see. I'll think about it. We got to search and do a little R&D on that.
I hope you guys figure out a way to do it, because that is possibly my favorite. Just that bass line, it sticks in my head. I love it.
Cool.
And I've got to look at my other computer here because I have the rest of your music on this computer.
What if you did an octave pedal with the ukulele?
interesting. Well, but then there's still a ukulele part is the thing. But I like where you're going with that, though.
See, this is great collaboration, getting new ideas. Love it.
Have you ever played a bass ukulele?
I haven't. I know that they're tuned differently. The ones with the big fat strings.
Yeah, they're actually kind of fun.
Yeah, they look fun.
All right, so Kate and Daisy.
I don't know whose dog this is. This dog's
Hi, little sweetheart. Hi, little Murph.
Get out of here.
What's the dog's name?
His name's Murphy.
No, I literally don't know where this
No,
dog
we
came
do
from.
know this dog.
No, this dog just walked in the house. Don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
Oh, this might be my favorite episode. So, Kate and Daisy, you guys say you're working on a new album.
We have one done. It's coming out in like a month or something.
Oh, okay. All right. So I remember Nick saying that you had new music, and when I was approached to have Charming Disaster back on, like, all right, we got to talk about something, because the very first time you guys came on, we do a deep dive into your music, your history, and how you got to where you are. And I'm like, I want to find somebody else to have on the podcast. And then they recommended Lung, and I'm like, yes, I've been wanting these guys on for a long time. So your music is so unique, and I would say Charming Disaster is, and I think you guys have even described yourself as like having a goth folk sound. Mm-hmm. That's nothing to the way I would describe Lung.
You don't think we're a goth folk band?
I don't think so. I mean, not the time I heard you play live. I would say it's more like art punk, maybe like almost like
I like nightmare rock.
Well, so the best way I can describe it, like a song like Jump Ship, that could be Queens of the Stone Age with Pat Benatar singing.
Cool.
Oh.
I'll take it.
It was just a waste of time, but you don't know how it goes. It was just a waste of time. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. It was just a waste of time. In the sea of whispering saints, you entered
To me, Pat Benatar is incredible, and I'm a huge Queens of the Stone Age fan. So, the new album, is it going to follow in a similar vein to the previous music, or are you guys planning on expanding the sound, venturing off into a country album?
It's all country.
Nice.
And actually not just country, it's white rap country.
No.
Yeah.
Kate's embracing her.
I'm embracing my Detroit roots and
our Eminem influence.
Yeah, you know. So firstly, fun little tidbit. The album that most recently came out for us is actually not the most recent one we wrote. We sort of swapped releasing them in order because of the way the pandemic hit and things like that. Like we wanted to. Anyway, we released Let It Be Gone in 2021, I think. Not Let It Be Gone. What's it called? Come Clean Right Now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that album is actually like, I guess it'll be like bouncing off of that. What do you think? Do you think I don't know.
Well, here's the thing.
Weirder.
We put out 4 albums in like 2 years. 2 of them were split records. 2 of them were real albums. Most of that happened is creativity that like dates before the pandemic even. Like everything, like the Come Cleaner Now was written at the very beginning of the pandemic. Everything we've been working on since hasn't come out yet. So this is all new stuff, and it's like not a radical departure, but it's definitely different.
It's different. It's
worse. It's
worse. It's way worse. It's awful. Don't listen to it.
You're going backwards.
It's more lighter and weird.
It's more experimental, but not in an we're experimental way. Like it's just kind of bizarre and like embraces like whatever way we wanted to go. We were like, let's write this really strange song and then have it go over here and then have it go over there. And then like we're descending into the pits of hell. And then, so that's what you're going to get from it.
The songs are shorter. It's more mean spirited and weird.
It's mean spirited and weird.
Yeah.
I am 100% in on that.
There's a song about cults in it. And that's one of my favorite songs. It's called Self-Help Journey. And you enter into this cult, and by the end, you're like smelling the laughing gas and dying. And it was funny because I was actually working on the song with you all about like dying. I mean, it's not what it's about, but you inhale the cherry. Yeah.
I thought your house is haunted, but it might be carbon monoxide.
Yeah. So anyway, so we all have songs about slow death, but this is more of a rapid death in this song.
Nice.
Everybody dies. And we want everyone to feel that at the shows too.
Carbon monoxide is a relatively slow death. Like they're not shooting anybody.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
I did want to mention that the sound of the cello was meant to represent the carbon monoxide gas in that song.
That's so appropriate.
That's so me. I love it.
Clean Right Now, by the way. I have that on vinyl, and I listen to it, and it's a really pretty vinyl too.
Oh, thank you.
We went out of our way to make it look good.
Yeah, it looks good. I play it at home. My favorite track is Green because of the time signature stuff. It's so fun.
Oh yeah, that's some weird ones.
They are knocking on the door. Place your money in the floorboards. You know it won't keep you warm in a future that just wants us out of it. They are knocking on the walls while we break for revolution. Find the exit in a world that's a play where there's not enough oxygen. I want lots on streetlights.
I have a question.
That whole album was written in like a month or something. Like that was like when the pandemic stuff happened. We just wrote that, and then
Over the internet because we didn't.
Yeah, that's a weird record because that's like a hothouse of a record where like most of our records have songs with pieces from every era, but that is just like that's it. Like it's just that month, and then
Oh, wow.
yeah.
All right, Jeff, you said you had a question.
Oh yeah, it was a question for long. I wanted to know how long it takes you to write and record an album.
If you're going to do it the normal way, not like...
Right, yeah, whatever, however you want.
I don't know. know.
It really depends, because in that case, we wrote it, that would have been like maybe a month or two, and then we recorded it in like 2 weekends. Like that one was really fast.
But then this one, this one we wrote the songs over a couple years and then recorded it all. Like, was that last summer? I don't even.
It was 2 summers.
Oh my gosh.
That we took, like, to keep in mind, we were like, okay, we have a little bit of money and we want to like we have a friend who has a studio who's like very kind to us with rates. And we were like, okay, let's take 2 weeks and do this. And like, that was our like absolute Guns N' Roses, like indulgent piano ballad, like laying around on the floor, doing vocals on the roof, just anything we wanted to do. We set a microphone on fire just to see what it sounded like. So like our absolute indulgence was 2 weeks, top to bottom.
Did the flaming microphone make the record?
No, it actually sounded really bad.
Oh, damn. Okay.
But there's actually the sound of us setting other stuff on fire on the record.
Oh, okay. Nice.
That's so Einstürzen to Neubauten of you.
Oh, yeah. Richtig.
You know.
Oh.
It
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Nein.
Nein.
It made me think of how many
I
things
do
Lee
I.
Cotton did that just like didn't sound good, because there's stuff where it's like, that's funny, but it like doesn't sound good. It's just like, oh, the microphone just stopped. It was on fire and stopped. That's it. There's not really good sound.
It wasn't screaming or anything.
It's dumb.
When we were on tour in Germany last spring, our first Germany tour, we visited in Berlin, Hansa Studios, and they had some really great stories about Einstürzen Neubauten recording in the studio. And there was one song where they put microphones in the toilet, or like they put a microphone in the toilet, and then they had the sound of a knife, like stabbing the toilet seat. And that made it onto the record.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like the same thing we were talking about a little bit ago with like movies versus theater. It's like, have you ever seen those documentaries on like how sound effects were made in like back in the day, where it's like, oh, that's not what I would expect at all. Like that's the thing with sound, where it's like you can do something absolutely insane and it's like, okay, and then you'll like have some dude with like a rubber band like between his teeth, and like that's the sound of like Bugs Bunny falling off a building or whatever. It's like, that's wild. That's what sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's all science behind it. I mean, people make a living doing that stuff. It's insane.
It's awesome.
We did some weird stuff like that on our record. For one of the songs, we just couldn't figure out what the right percussion sound was. Like, we wanted it to be really textured. This was on Scavengers, and we ended up just pointing a mic at the floor, and I sat in a metal folding chair, and I swished my feet on the floor. I had these boots that were really worn, like the bottoms were just like totally smooth, and I just like shushed my feet on the floor for the whole song, which turns out it's really hard to do for like 4 solid minutes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, don't fuck it up.
That's awesome.
Keep your swishing in time.
Yeah. We did kid claps.
Oh, we did too.
Some claps and stomps and shit. Yeah.
Nice.
The classic duo move.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You gotta do all the games. You know?
There's actually a lot of records I've heard. Like, I think there's a Tom Waits record where he like rubs on his pants, and that's in the background of a song. Like, that's weird. Like the thing that's weirdly like a cool way to create ambience.
What if we all do it right now?
Yeah.
I've always liked breath sounds, and we did some.
Love breath sounds.
There's a song on our new record that I can't tell you where I stole the samples from, because that person is very litigious. Although I would like to be sued by them. That would be entertaining. Where I basically cut up, like, there's a couple songs on our record where I became very... I've done other projects where I like do electronic stuff and cut up stuff and make beats and all that stuff. But I got very into having there be 2 different drum parts that were sort of making fun of each other, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. It would be like one kind of sample drum part or one like very different kind of kit versus the actual drum kit. And I chopped up the beat to a song, but it included the breaths of said litigious person. But it's all like all chopped up and weird, like.
Okay, you don't have to answer this question, but was it Lars Ulrich?
That was my guess too.
Not on this occasion, but he wouldn't be breathing because he doesn't. Well, I guess he'd be breathing, but it wouldn't be audibly breathing because of the lack of.
He doesn't breathe.
No.
Lars Ulrich does not breathe. Yeah, that's correct.
He's a fish.
Lars Ulrich is actually pretty good to chop up, though. If you ever did, like, I mean, the stems are kind of easy to find, and you can make a lot of cool stuff out of them. But he doesn't breathe, so he's not alive. So
Please.
Obviously. Well, I'm excited to hear this because I had Conan Neutron on a while back, and it was when Adult Prom came out, and so I have listened to that a lot. And
cool.
I mean, I love like Fucked Up Darling, Anyone Else, but I think out of everything I've heard from Lung, my favorite track of all is Cash Machine.
Like that cold abandoned shell. Bankrupt thoughts heal my heart. Fix the veil. Charge me interest while I'm stuck in your plastic jail. From my cell I hear the clink of my freedom ring. Inside the belly of your cash machine. It should be clean.
That is a cover.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a 2-ton boa.
That's a
cover.
2-ton boa cover.
Oh,
because for the split with Conan, we were originally gonna do like part of the plan was each band do a cover of like a band that we absolutely love.
Okay.
So yeah, but thank you. Yeah, we definitely reimagined that. You should check out the original though.
That band's insane. Like that band is
Never
like
heard of it. 2-ton boa. Okay.
2-ton boa.
All right.
so like basically they're sort of the intersection of like 2000s noise rock and 2000s like, how do I say this nicely, theater kid rock. Like they're this sort of weird bridge between like Godhead Silo and the Dresden Dolls. Like it's a pretty unique band, and like they're amazing, and just nobody ever talks about them. I feel like they were on Kill Rock Stars or one of those labels or something where like you'd think they would have gotten attention. They're also weird. We love them. Like that. Like that's one of the like bands that like literally we've just like straight up ripped off. Like we straight up have ripped off 2-ton boa
Because we love them.
Yeah. And that cover is on purpose, kind of like very different than how they sound. Like it was a sort of a wanted to see if we could do it differently.
Oh, and now I got to check out the original because. But the problem is you've kind of ruined it because now I love your version. So now the original has to compete with yours.
No, you're gonna love
You'll
it.
hear it and you'll go,
it's a song. It's a song that like every time I hear it, I'm like, how is this not a hit song?
It's like,
and it sounds pretty different than ours. Like it's like we sort of intentionally fucked it up in a weird way where it's like kind of a different take. So you'll enjoy it.
You'll enjoy it, and just listen to the whole album.
I feel like the weird connection there. The reason people know that band is because the singer and main bass player had some involvement with the band Marcy Playground at some point.
Oh,
and I think co-wrote some of the songs on their big record. So that's like, but it sounds nothing like Marcy Playground. Like it's just this sort of weird random connection. But no, that band is insane. So,
well, I will definitely check them out. And I want to. All right, so let's find out from Charming Disaster, where can people get the new album? And by the time this airs, the album will probably be out because it's coming out in a few weeks.
It's coming out May 16th.
Oh, so this will probably be out before that. So how can they order it and follow you guys on social media to find tour dates and what you're up to?
Oh, yeah. We are on all the social medias. You can find us on Instagram and Spotify and Facebook and Blue Sky and blah, blah, blah. All the places. We're very easy to find. And the album, which is going to be out on vinyl and CD and digitally, you can pre-order it on Bandcamp. Even now, even at this very moment, it is pre-orderable on Bandcamp. And you can find links to all of our stuff at charmingdisaster.com.
Excellent. And Kate and Daisy, how can people find Lung and get the new album when that comes out and find your tour dates?
By finding us in real life, probably, because I don't think it's going to be, when's it going to be out?
I don't know.
The 30th of May, I think.
So it's like out. We have a CD release party on the 31st. It got all messed up because of me.
Yeah, it got weird because Kate is going on tour with Kim Deal in Europe. So we had to move everything around last minute.
Oh, but, so cool.
Awesome.
But it'll be out, on streaming platforms in June, but just email us and we'll freaking send you a copy. Okay, here's the better answer.
All the records are free now. Literally, if you find this in the real world, we will have copies.
Yeah.
It'll probably be on the internet too.
And then our Instagram is Lung the Band. Our Facebook is that as well. I don't think we have Blue Sky. We might have a TikTok. I don't have a TikTok. We have a TikTok. It's
somewhere.
I find TikTok difficult, but we have
a live journal too.
We have a live journal. It's actually, we used to have a blog. It was great. And then
We have a Friendster.
We have a Friendster. We have a MySpace. We have a we have a Tinder profile.
You have a Tinder profile.
I don't have a Tinder profile yet.
But it's for the band.
For the band, yeah. No, it's just me. And then people are like, I'd like to date you. And then I'm like, come to my show. I don't want to date you.
Yeah.
That's a true story about someone we know who I can't name, who would go on tour and like flirt with dudes and have them come to the show and get a crowd that
But
way.
I'm not going to do that.
We have a friend who's produced a couple of shows for us in Nashville, and she does that every time.
Really?
And incredible. Yeah, but she's one of those like super extrovert, shameless types. So like, I mean, she's like the person you want doing this on your behalf.
Right.
And then you have a place to stay at night, you know?
Yeah,
That's true.
lots of places.
I think it's actually I think it's awesome. I think it's hilarious.
I mean, it's great.
What I like to imagine is that she's told all these people that they're on a date. And then she has to like, you know, like keep on like switching.
Mrs. Doubtfire it. Like, change her outfit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's perfect. We're gonna do that next show.
Yeah, I think that would be the
We
best.
should all do that.
Yeah, we could all do
Yeah,
that.
that's how you get people to come to shows in 2020, whatever year we're in, 5. God, I can't believe that.
You'll have to do it when you share the stage together. We'll have to figure out how to get you guys all in the same place.
Yeah, we'll do a double bill, and we'll do
A double Tinder. We'll have a double Tinder. We'll have a joint Tinder profile between our two bands.
Duos seeking duos.
and we'll have like costume quick change things happening like in between every song.
And we'll give shout outs to our different Tinder dates.
Yeah. Well,
You know, thank them all for being there. It's very meaningful.
All at once, or
No, they get like special shout outs between songs, you know.
Yeah.
Saw you from across the bar and liked your vibe. The show.
We're going on tour in May too. This is really giving me a lot of ideas. So thank you.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I didn't have to even be in this conversation.
Oh, don't leave yourself out. You're important here too.
Well, guys, I hope when you hit the road that you come through the D.C. area, Virginia, D.C., Maryland. I would love to see Lung again. I have to see Charming Disaster. I'll bring my camera. I do a lot of live music photography in the area, and I'll trade you getting into a show for photos. So let me know if that's doable.
Yeah.
Thank you. That would be awesome.
We can arrange that.
Thank you.
And I will send you guys, Lung, I'll send you guys some of the shots that I took from the Max Sabbath show. So
Oh, nice.
Is that the one in Black Cat?
yes,
That club is great.
that club was amazing. It's one of the worst to shoot at because the lighting is either awesome like it was for Max Sabbath, or it's terrible. Like when I saw Woven Hand open up for Ohm, and it was just like this bright red spotlight on David and Gormy. It was just horrible to shoot. But when you guys were playing, the lighting was awesome. The other problem is if it's a halfway popular show, you can't move. You got to find a spot and you're just stuck there. So fortunately for that show, I found a good spot and I was able to shoot you guys, and I was able to shoot some good shots of Max Sabbath. So
Nice. That was fun.
it is a fun club though.
And Speed Dealer played that show too.
Yes,
They're
that's
great.
right. I forgot
I
about
love
that.
Speed Dealer.
Yeah.
They're great human beings. They're so fun.
They were, I had never heard them before.
They're not a 2-piece, but they should think about, you know.
They should think about becoming a 2-piece.
They should kick out everyone who plays the guitar and bass and just have a drummer and a singer.
Yeah, that's probably, they should just have a drummer and a singer.
Let's think about some unpopular 2-piece lineups. I would go see a band that was just a drummer and a singer.
I think I have.
Isn't there a crass single or something that's just a drummer and a singer? Or am I making that up? I feel like there is.
I'm not familiar with it.
Bass player and kazoo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God, of course you have a kazoo in arm's reach. Just right there. That's amazing.
I have a bass, but it's like in a case over there.
I love that your kazoo's just like waiting. It's like, come on, try me.
It's like bobby pins. You just need enough of them scattered like around. If you reach out, you can grab one.
Do you travel with kazoos in your pocket?
I do
Just in
because
case?
we use them in the show. So we've got a couple songs where there's like a really beautiful horn
No,
solo.
I mean like when you're going to Kroger's, like when you're going to the grocery store.
Well, there's inevitably
That's inappropriate.
one in my purse, which I always find when I'm looking for a pen or a tampon. And I'm
so
always
great.
like, damn it, this kazoo is not helpful right now.
It's not going to do much. Yeah.
Or is
You know, well,
what's the most inappropriate place you've ever played a kazoo?
A funeral? Have you played one at a funeral?
not yet.
Oh,
Should market your services. Sad kazoo for funerals.
No,
that
seriously,
could be
I want
an
to know the answer to
album.
this question. Most inappropriate.
Well, I think
Oh my
that
god!
part-
So I was at the Hands Off March in New York on Saturday, and I was like marching with a band that does like political protests, and I had a tambourine. I was like pulling the wagon, but like if you're marching with a band, anybody with an instrument like gloms onto you and like wants to like play along with the band, which is fine. Except there was somebody standing right behind me with a slide whistle, and it was like freaking me out. The whole time it was so freaky.
Oh my
oh
gosh.
my gosh. Can I make a request?
Yeah,
Lung, you guys,
do at your funeral. I will.
well,
Sad kazoo.
well, that's you're kind of hitting it. Is it
That's what the slide
possible
whistle
for you
for.
guys to collaborate on just one song and call it "Sad Kazoo Music for a Funeral"?
Yes.
When you die,
Yeah.
I don't care if I don't care if I'm alive. I would actually like to hear it before I die, if that's okay.
it can be arranged.
How about it's
We can practice it, record it, play it for you, and then murder you.
Okay.
There you go.
Efficient.
and then turn you into sauerkraut?
Sell it at the
I don't know where that came from, but all right.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Daisy's enjoying it.
The thing's moving.
You can't really turn people into sauerkraut.
No, it's a joke. You can't. Well, though with
can't.
enough salt.
You can't yet.
I don't know if they can turn plants into meat. You could probably turn meat into plants.
Yeah. You can do anything.
Exactly.
Maybe meat-based plant products is the next big trend.
I think so. I think we've just hit upon two amazing ideas: kazoo, sad kazoo music, and meat-based
And meat
plants.
carrots.
Meat carrot.
It's like
Meats,
pork.
just like
shaped like a carrot.
it is meats. MEETS. They're like meatballs that taste like beets.
That was a great idea.
Yeah, this is a strong concept.
Whoever's listening, if you take these ideas,
Yeah, if you want to invest in
you
our
gotta
new
pay us.
This sounds like a bad joke of like someone who like people who are like vegans. I don't like vegans. I eat meat. Like this sounds like a like Trump page joke about salads. This is what it sounds like.
I have meat salad.
I like you know what people are like the people who are like I hate how much vegans complain about being vegan and they always say it way more than any vegan ever. You know what I'm talking about? It's so annoying. Yeah, this sounds like a bad joke from that too.
I kind of like the idea of a meat salad, though. Instead of lettuce, you get like shredded chicken instead of tomatoes.
No, but it's shaped like vegetables.
right.
And dyed those colors too. So the chicken could be lettuce. You dye it green.
Yes.
Paleo.
And then like an egg
Well,
you would dye some, and like pork, you would dye it.
prosciutto,
different color.
nice prosciutto, like
Could be a tomato. And then you get like some like bloody weird thing that could be like the inside of the tomato.
all
I
right.
think
This,
side of the tomato is still just the tomato.
No, that's meat. It's gonna be a meat. It's gonna be meat, but like creative meat.
No.
I like how our vegetarian band always is talking about meat somehow.
All right.
Oh, this is me too.
this has gone completely off the rails.
Sorry.
What happened when you talked to duo?
At one point,
Like
this was
two
a music
weird
podcast.
duos too. Like we're kind of strange, all of us.
At one point, this was a music podcast, but now,
Yeah.
I don't know. Well,
Yeah,
guys,
it's a
like
think
Shark
tank.
Tank.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us. Next time we'll bring meat salads.
exactly, and sad kazoo music. So there we go. Oh my gosh. Wah wah. That was amazing. All right, so that means that I've got to have Lung back on to do a deep dive on you guys, and Charming Distraction, you guys are welcome anytime. So
Thank you.
This is your third, well, technically fourth, because the first time the file got corrupted, we had to do that one all over again.
It's on our rider that we only are going to perform your podcast with Charming Disaster. So even if we're just doing an album focus on us, you're going to have to interview them about it too.
You got it.
Yeah, do the album.
Would that be fun? Like a band like has to talk about your album, but they've never listened to it, so you just make up everything. Like,
I do that every week.
It would be better if we listened to it and then we were like the Mystery Science Theater 3000 robots in the interview. We just sort of interjected.
So what we can do, I don't know why I'm entertaining this idea.
Sorry,
but
Mark.
No, what we can do is I can interview each of you about your albums and then send the edited podcast to the other band, who can then record comments over it.
Like the director said.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Like MST3K.
and like do like Beastie Boys style like rap on top. Like you'll say like, "How are you doing today?" and I'll be like, "Today," like on top of it.
I'll tell you, I will do it, and you can do whatever you want with it. It's you have total artistic freedom.
I'm going to do that, but whenever they play kazoo, I'm going to do a bass kazoo. Does that exist?
I feel like this is maybe even too much artistic freedom.
Is bass kazoo a real thing?
Yeah.
If it's not, it needs to be. I think you just invented it.
Well, do you guys ever play around Buffalo?
Yeah, we're playing there in like a month or something.
Do you know about the Kazoo factory in Erie, New York?
No, I do not.
There is a kazoo factory. They manufacture metal kazoos. It's called what is it called?
Like kazoo.
Well, anyway, if you look up Kazoo Factory, Erie, New York, but you can tour it and stuff. And
Erie in Pennsylvania, that Erie, or Erie, New York?
Erie, New York.
Erie, New York. It's like outside of Buffalo.
They should not have put those two that close together. That's
No, it's New York. Anyway.
Hold on, I'll look it up while you guys are talking.
All right. It's Eden. It's Eden, New York. Just
Okay, cool.
Buffalo on Lake Erie. It's very confusing, but they have they make metal kazoos, and you can tour the factory. So just heads up.
That's pretty cool.
We haven't been.
Not yet.
Can you buy kazoos on site?
I assume you can.
What the fuck is even happening right now?
We actually used. Have you ever seen the electric kazoo with the little pickup? You know what I'm talking about? We actually used. Yeah, we actually used one of those on the record we just did, but it's on a song that isn't coming out on this record. So there will eventually
didn't make the cut.
Yeah, but it'll come out on
Got
another
rejected.
record.
If that didn't make the cut, I cannot wait to hear what did.
We'll send it your way. Do you want to? We'll see.
You can just have it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We can, I mean, even better if you can have. We can have yours too. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Can we all swap unreleased albums?
Sure. Yeah. I'll send you mine just later on tonight.
Do it. That'd be awesome.
I actually, for the longest time, had an unreleased podcast that I would have sent you, but I did release it. I had Julie Cruz on.
Really?
Cool.
Yeah. Well, okay. So
that's awesome.
You'll enjoy this because I had Julie Cruz on. As soon as she got on, she said, "Well, this is going to be fun." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." She goes, "No, I just ate an enormous pot brownie." I'm like, okay. So
was she cool?
She was awesome. And then I had Danielle DiPicciotto on soon after that. She's married to Alexander Haka from Einstein and Neubauten. So she also played with the B-52s with Julie. So I don't know how I started talking to Danielle about it. We were texting. And I said, "Oh, I just had recorded with Julie Cruz," and she's like, "I toured with her during the B-52s. That's awesome! I can't wait to hear it." So then I texted Julie, said, "Oh, hey, guess what? I'm having Danielle on," and I'm trying to remember if it was a text or a voice message, and it just said, "I hate that bitch." I was like,
"No!"
Wow.
She's like, "Do not release my episode. I don't want to have anything to do with a podcast that will have that slut on." I'm just
Jesus Christ! Holy fuck!
She went off. I mean, so imagine you text. It's like a 3-page text of how much she can't stand this lady, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I was like.
That's some deep beef.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I guess I'm not releasing it. So I held on to it until she died, and then I put it out.
R.I.P.
Yep.
Sad
Rip
Kazoo.
Julie.
Cue sad Kazoo.
Sad kazoo music for a funeral. It's all full circle. So, well, guys, this has been not at all what I expected, which makes it one of my favorite episodes ever. So,
This has been a total blast. Thank you for having
This is
us.
the best
Thank
interview
you
I've
for
ever
having
had.
us, and so fun getting to hang with you guys, Daisy and Kate.
Good to see you guys.
We freaking
Glad we got
love
to do
you
this together.
all of you.
thank you. And so, Well, when you guys have time, we'll have to figure out a time when I can have Kate and Daisy on and just do a deep dive like I did with Jeff and Elia and just find out more about how you guys got into music to begin with.
And we're going to play the pie shop together,
Awesome.
right? How about the pie shop?
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
I love the pie
Place
shop.
rules.
Great.
Let's do it.
They have good pie, too.
They
They
literally
do.
have pie.
They do. But not the pies you want.
Do you have a disappointing pie experience?
Well, I'm trying to remember. Wasn't it just pizza? They didn't have pies.
No, they had
I don't
pie.
think you remember the show.
They had pie downstairs.
Oh, I'm misremembering. I'm thinking of a place that had pizza.
We played with Tone.
Oh, right. Yes,
Yeah.
they have really good pie. They have really good pie. I take it back. I'm sorry, Pie Shop.
You know that band? That DC
Sorry.
band, Tone?
I do not.
That band is fantastic.
They were
And they've been
awesome.
around for like 35 years or something insane like that. And like, I'd never heard of them until we played with them. And it was like absolute mind blower band, like super insane band.
Oh, my gosh.
Check them out.
I will. You guys have given me a lot to check out. I'll have to reciprocate. Have you heard of this band called Charming Disaster?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Describe them to me.
Describe them.
They are like sad kazoo music for a funeral,
Oh my gosh.
but
I
a little
have
bit more
a funeral
cabaret.
I have to plan. I have a funeral I have to plan, and so I think I'm going to hire them.
Described by some fans on YouTube as, and I quote, underrated.
What are the weird things people describe us as?
Good.
Sometimes they say, I think my most backhanded compliment I've ever gotten, and I've gotten it several times, is, wow, you really look like you're having a lot of fun up there.
Oh, yeah.
Love that one.
Probably the funniest single review I can think of we've ever gotten is when like we have a lot of overlap with like the experimental noise world because those were our friends. And
Oh, yeah.
but there was like a zine where they gave us this absolutely flat review where they were like, this is kind of a rock album that has songs on it. There are vocals and melodies. There are drums, and like it was absolutely flat. And then the next page was a absolutely glowing review of an artist getting naked and fucking a stuffed Sonic the Hedgehog, and that was the entire performance. And I thought that was like those two. And again, nothing against the person fucking the Sonic the Hedgehog. That's fucking awesome too.
Your thing.
But it was so funny to be like the contrast of like this is an album and like this is visionary great art. It's for the 80s. It was, I don't know. That always tickled me.
That's insane. So, all right. So I will throw one band out there that I didn't know anything about until I actually shot their show live at Union Stage. Are you guys familiar with a band called Maruja?
No, how do you spell it?
Maruja. They're from the UK and they're like crazy experimental punk, just absolute insanity live.
Oh, nice.
I've only really seen them live. I haven't even really gone back and listened to the albums yet. Their PR firm reached out through the podcast and the live shots that I do, and they asked if I wanted to shoot the show, and I'm like, yeah, sure. So the way they described it, they described the live show as somebody described it as almost like being at an exorcism.
Cool.
And I was like, okay, so what I want to do now is not know any of the music. I usually want to get as familiar as I can with the music and listen to it, because I know there's websites that have set lists up there, but I try to keep something like they did this during this song, or they, this happened during this, or they said this story between these two songs. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going in not knowing anything. I don't want to know any songs. I don't want to know names. I don't want to know anything. And I was not disappointed. I was absolutely blown away by the set. It was incredible.
That's awesome. I'm going to check them out.
Yeah.
Cool.
Maruja. Maruja. Yeah. So, all right. Well, on that, we'll officially end this podcast. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
This is going to be a bitch to edit, but it's going to be fun.
Sorry.
Oh, we look forward to hearing what you do in the editing of this.
Yeah, good luck. Thank you.
Very, very little of it's going to get cut out. So
Good.
thank you guys so much. When it does come out, I will shoot you guys links and feel free to spread it or ignore it, whatever you feel like.
Thank you so much.
Credit.
Thank you guys so much, and we'll stay in touch.
All right, sounds good.
We'll talk to you soon.
Take care, y'all. See you down the road.
See you later.
Bye, guys. Good to see you.
Bye.
Thanks again.
How do we hang up? There we go.